Arcade Heroes.
Hey everybody, this is Adam with Arcade Heroes again, taking another look at some arcade flyers. This time I'm going to be taking a look at flyers that I picked up from Amusement Expo 2015 in Las Vegas. So it's not going to be terribly long as there wasn't too many new flyers that I picked up. But somebody mentioned that you were interested in seeing more. So let's take a look. Oh, and if you're interested in the previous Arcade Flyers video, just click here. Alright, let's get started. First off with some pinball by Stern Pinball. They were at Amusement Expo to represent the fine American art form of pinball machines. They had Mustang there, flyers for the Premium Boss model, which is a bit more detailed than the Pro editions, more to it overall as opposed to the standard Pros, which is normal, different types of ramps, different effects on the toys, things like that. So that was the first time I had a chance to try out that game. Likewise, the first time I was ready to rumble for some pinball was with the new WrestleMania Pinball. They have both the Pro and the Premium, or sorry, Limited Edition models there to enjoy. The Pro model, both of them have a strong focus on this part here with the wrestling ring. There's two flipper-like devices built into that, which you can control to knock it around, hit the targets up top, and wrestle, so to speak. And otherwise, it's kind of interesting because the pinballs will constantly go up here and they'll be falling down from one platform to the other, so it's a little unique compared to trying to keep it on the main play field and having the flow just on ramps. But that was the Pro model. It was nice to get a chance to see the limited edition model. Since these are a bit more pricey, they don't always end up at locations. They usually end up with collectors. And sometimes Stern does not bring these models to the trade shows that I attend, at least, and so don't get a chance to see them a lot of the time. Main differences on this one are found up top. You've got the color LCD, which is the first time they've ever used something quite like this, thanks to their new SAM hardware. They also had a spinner in the wrestling ring to create a little bit more chaos, a lot more artwork. There's these little plastic standees of guys to be found there, and so quite a bit of information on the flyers. Their flyers now are a lot better than they were a few years ago, like with the NBA Jam, or not NBA Jam, NBA Pinball, which was a pretty worthless, not detailed flyer. They also had, as you saw in the video, I'll put the link here, Whoa Nellie Big Juicy Melons, which not many people want to say the full name of that one, understandably. This is a retro style, or as they called it, boutique pinball. They know they're not going to sell a whole lot of them because compared to what everybody's used to, this doesn't have ramps, doesn't have toys. It's very retro in its design, but the artwork looked really nice, very colorful. Interesting wood finish on the sides, which felt a little different than holding onto the middle. So yeah, that's also available now. Got a couple flyers from Incredible Technologies, although I'm pretty sure I have these flyers sitting around here somewhere already. Maybe not the 2015, but definitely the Silver Strike Live. They did have a new version of Silver Strike at the show, Silver Strike X, which is an offline model, but as far as I know, there's nothing really different about that. For Golden Tee, it's just promoting the latest additions that software adds to it, such as more courses, more features, more money, which everybody likes. And of course, the game that I spent the most time with at the show, Time Crisis 5 by Bandai Namco Games. A new dual pedal system completely changes the way you attack opponents. Attack from multiple angles, which actually did work out better than I expected it to. The game cabinet, as you saw in this video here, just click on the link. It shows that in action, and the cabinet's about 13 feet wide or so. This just promotes the redesigned gun, have some screenshots, This is not as detailed as the flyer that they initially showed online, the Japanese flyer, which was a 3-piece set. This doesn't have anything on the back, but that's the US flyer for Time Crisis 5. Picked this up because I hadn't seen this as a standalone flyer. It's usually part of another pamphlet, but this is just for Supercars. They've removed the Fast and Furious license from it, but it's otherwise the exact same game as released in 2010. Of course, the Fast and Furious Supercars doesn't really have anything from the Fast and Furious movies, and none of the actors, none of the voiceovers, so yeah, not a big difference. And this is the booklet that shows up at every Betson and Rothril's booth at a trade show, and that's where stuff like the Supercars flyer usually is at. This time, this Fun for Everyone game plan covered the latest releases, such as Batman and Barrel of Monkeys, the Redemption game. And of course you have the new Jurassic Park arcade. It's actually right there. This first page is showing the Environmental Deluxe Edition. And it's the King of Earnings, Play the Movie, or movies, that probably should say. 55-inch LED screen, over 1,000 LEDs, 9 action-packed levels, over 30 dinosaurs, theater quality sound, 3-foot T-Rex topper. You have the motion side, where the only difference is the big motion and the slightly different cabinet. Big Buck Wild. Also, if you need to see a review of that, click on the link here. This is covering the prehistoric Irish elk. Tells you about redeeming big buck points, revamped tourneys, 2 new adventures from the Duck Dynasty, which does have a newer, lower price, and In Case of Zombies, which I've already reviewed. Also covering their semi-recent Aliens Armageddon with the 42-inch and 55-inch models, so that's still being produced and it's out there. They're still making Supercars, or sorry, Super Bikes too, and Snowcross, which is essentially Super Bikes 3. It's just Super Bikes with snow, and it has a wind blower on it. Some redemption stuff, such as the very popular Fishbowl Frenzy, which is primarily being sold by Team Play. SpongeBob SquarePants Jellyfishing, simple redemption game. And then, like every game plan, they always have a featured chart here to show you what the differences are between the different games. And finally, got this Big Buck HD Wild flyer. This one here is for operators, so if you already own a Big Buck HD, this tells you what to expect for new games. It also tells you what to expect in buying a new one, and also mentions the offline business model for the home edition, essentially. Now this here, it's a manual, not really a brochure or flyer, but this was produced to train the new Big Buck game wardens who are out there promoting the Big Buck games to different locations to try and get people more involved in the tournaments and those sorts of things. So it covers the different cabinet sizes, the different game features, the new adventures, the animals, the critters, the new online feature like Super Marksman and how the tournaments work, the online showdown mode. Really shows that the new Big Buck games have a lot to them. It's a lot of ground to cover. Really hard to explain in, say, just a bumper sticker type format. Here's the operator features that only apply to people like me that own one of these machines and may worry about that. Oh, yeah. Here's where it talks about the DLC, showing how you'll have Bighorn Sheep coming in 2016, Gemsbach in 2017. I did get a chance to see those when I was testing the Big Buck HD game, or the wild version. But other than that, not a lot here that would interest most players, just operators really. But yeah, that covers what I grabbed from Amusement Expo 2015. So I will definitely have to come up with or show you some more of the flyers that I have that I've picked up from other trade shows. But thank you for watching and stay tuned.